Hi, and welcome to Monday, and we're off to a new week. Glad you're here with us. We are now picking up with our stories from the Sermon on the Mount, and now we're coming to a point where Jesus has some real strong teachings about money, about treasure and where your treasure is. Now, let's put this in the context of how the Sermon on the Mount starts. Remember, it begins with the Beatitudes and this long list of characteristics, of descriptions of what the blessed life looks like. Blessed are those who are pure in heart. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst after righteousness. Blessed are those who mourn. On and on the list goes. So that blessed word echoes through the whole sermon. So now we're getting to a point of the sermon where Jesus gets really blunt about what the reality of our lives are. Blessed are the ones who do not store up for themselves treasures on earth, but store up for themselves treasures in heaven. Those are the people who are blessed. Now, what does it mean by blessed? Where do you look for your validation? What things in your life do you look for meaning, for hope, for purpose, for value? Some of us get caught in a career path where we value our life by what we have accomplished lately. And you'll have an ego wall where you'll have all of the things, the awards and rewards that you've had. And here's the gold record, and here's the platinum record, and here's this award, and here's this certificate, and here's my picture with this famous person and that famous person. And when you want to know if you're a good person, if you want to know if you're a valuable person, that's what you look at. I must be okay. Look at all the things that I've done. The problem with being blessed by anybody or anything but Jesus is you end up putting your life in the hands of an idol. Blessed are those who store up for themselves treasures in heaven. You know, we're in a really weird time right now, this pandemic, and because of the pandemic and the quarantine, we literally shut down the economy. The President of the United States, all the governors said, you have to go home, you can't work. And we had this small debate on who's essential and who's not essential, but most of us went home, and most of our jobs stopped, and a lot of us lost our jobs. You see, the thing about treasures in heaven is they do not lose their value. The things about treasures on earth is they lose their value. The stock isn't worth what it was once worth. The property isn't worth what it was once worth. Your job isn't worth what it was once worth. And if your value is tied to those things that lose their value, then sooner or later, you lose your value. So when you read this passage this week, remember to ask yourself, what do I look for to bless me? Where do I look for my validation, for my meaning and purpose? Is it stuff? You can't serve stuff, which is what the word manna means. You can't serve stuff and God. You will love one and you will hate the other. One will bless you and the other will destroy you. See, it's not that you make that choice. It's not that you say, hey, I'm going to serve an idol. No, it's not that easy. It's sneaky. It's sneaky in that you make the decision to make this amount of money. And you find out here's what it takes to make that amount of money. And you make that amount of money. You pay the price. And then somebody says, well, you can make a little more money if you pay a little higher price. And what is the price? Well, you work a little longer. You travel a little more. You're not as home. You lose a little contact with your children. You lose a little contact with your marriage. On and on the list goes. But you're paying that price because it's a lot of fun to have that kind of money. Before you know it, the only thing that matters to you is how much money you can make, how much money you have. And you have paid this terrible price of giving up everything else. You see, it's not that you get up one morning and you say, hey, I'm going to mess my life up beyond all recognition. It doesn't happen like that. It just happens slowly, just step by step, choice by choice. And all of a sudden, you're serving this idol that we call stuff. So the first thing we want you to do this week is to spend a little time thinking about what it is that blesses you, what it is that gives your life value and meaning. If it's anybody else but Jesus Christ, then that's going to be a hard, hard road to go and a hard, hard price to pay. I'll give you about 60 seconds to think about it, and I'll see you tomorrow.